What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and today I'm gonna give you a review of the 2022 Porsche 911 GT3 after 1 month of ownership. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, you know that I've had a very quick evolution from not being a car person to being absolutely obsessed with cars. And one thing I will say is I've had the opportunity to drive a lot of cars, and after owning this car for just 1 month, I have to say this is my favorite car of all time. And I've said that about a couple cars, but I'm telling you right now, the Porsche 911 GT3 is absolutely incredible. And if you look really close, I'm gonna have you zoom in here. This car has seen some real wear and tear over the last couple days, especially because I took it up on the Teton Pass, one of the craziest roads to drive in any car, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. So if you stick around through the whole video, we've got lots of fun stuff. We're gonna get this car all cleaned up, but most importantly, I'm gonna tell you why over the last month I've determined that this is my favorite car of all time. There's so many things I could say about this car, but in this video, I want to start by talking about the exterior, then I want to talk about the interior, then I want to talk about the features of the car, and finally, I want to talk about the most important part of this vehicle, and that is the overall driving experience, and take you guys for a little bit of a spin. The one other thing that I'll say that I think is very important about reviewing this car and why I waited to do this review is you just need to take these cars out and drive them. They're not meant to sit in a garage, and it breaks my heart when I see that's exactly what people do with some of these higher end cars. And so I want you to know that this car has been driven a lot in the last month. I've been able to experience some incredible things when it comes to the acceleration, some of the top speeds, cornering, braking, and everything else. And this car has just blown me away. So I'm really excited to talk about that. But first off, I want to talk about the exterior. Now, anyone that you talk to that doesn't know Porsches would say that a 911 is a 911. Like, to a lot of people, they look very similar now as they did years ago. For Porsche people, I would say that's not true at all. Now, there are definitely similarities between the Porsches, and one of the reasons that I love my electric Taycan is it does look a lot different than the 911s historically have always looked. But when you look at this car, one thing that I've noticed compared to the other GT3s that I've driven that are a little bit older is all of the intricate details, especially this guy right here on the back, that just make this car pop. The only thing that I will add is if you are a Porsche person, this car you are going to love. If you're not, you should love it, but I don't like giving a scale or grade or anything else on a car because it is personal preference, and I understand that. I just think that this is the most beautiful Porsche ever produced, and I've absolutely loved it. But for this section, we're going to leave that up to you. We're going to give it a nice little bath and get you some footage so that you can decide for yourself. Alright guys, now we gotta talk about the interior. Steering wheel is extremely comfortable. Love the leather. If you look here, you can see the blue stitching, which I absolutely love. You can also see that everything is extremely simple. I really like how easy all of the AC, the heat is to use. I love that the lift is quick, and one of the features, we'll turn it on really quick. One of the features I love about the car is you can see right now the car has already been lifted. Throughout the city, Porsche has a setting, and again, this is something you can't get on a Lamborghini, at least to my knowledge, because mine doesn't have it. Once you use this lift, it gives you an option and says, do you want to save this spot? So every time I come to the garage, it immediately lifts the car so that I can go in. It's just all of the little things that Porsche has done to just make this such an elevated experience. If you look, all of the Porsches I've ever owned also have this clock, just a cool feature, and it's so simple yet so beautiful. I also love how easy it is to change from normal to sport to track in this car, and it is immediate. The other thing that other cars will have is for the paddle shifters, sometimes they're fixed. I love that it goes, and so you always know right where they are, and they're very easy to find when you're hitting corners and anything else while driving the car. It's just simple, and I think a lot of people get in and their first impression is there's not a lot going on. With the Lamborghini, I think it very much yells at you when you get into the interior, but all of this, you know where it is. It's extremely user friendly, and in my opinion, it is just absolutely beautiful. The other thing I've really loved about this car is it is extremely user friendly. I've actually really enjoyed the tech side of the vehicle, which, I don't know, historically with these higher end cars, I haven't been really impressed. But when it comes to all of the heating and cooling, it's very simple down here, very easy to get to. When it comes to any of the media stuff, I've been blown away by the speakers in this car. It links up great to my phone almost immediately, and the sound is awesome. When it comes to the driving modes, it's also very simple to change the things that actually matter. And I don't know, I've just found that everything is very easy to adjust with my seating, with everything else. This interior I've just really enjoyed, and maybe it is because I'm a simple man, but I feel like it gives me everything I need while looking absolutely incredible. That's all we're gonna hit on the interior. However, I get a hard time about this, and I'm gonna do it. So here we go. Oh no. But oh yes. It's always hard to do. It's so protected, you know? All right, guys, it is time to roll. And so we are going to take this on a drive, and I'm gonna talk about why this is the best driving experience car that I've ever had the opportunity of driving. Andrew Stevens that sold me this car, he loves driving all cars, but he is a diehard Porsche guy. And he reached out to me just today and he said, Chandler, honest opinion between the Lamborghini Huracan Evo and the GT3, what's your pick for driving experience? I don't know how to describe it other than this car and the way that it hugs the road and the way that it connects with your body, where you feel even the slightest little tweaks or changes. Maybe you're in the middle of a very heavy turn, and just those little tweaks I feel like are so delicate and beautiful in this car. The same goes with the immediate braking. I think just the lightness of the car and its ability to hug the road, it just feels like you and the car and the road are one. And I know that's so over dramatized, but that is why if I'm going to go and do curvy roads up in the mountains like I just did a couple days ago, there is no debate that this is going to be the car that I want to drive. Now, with that being said, I absolutely love the Huracan. I love the head turning factor that it has. It's definitely a car that grabs people's attention more, and I love the power, I love the sound. But the way that this grips the road, the way that this corners, the way that this brakes, there's just absolutely nothing like it. The acceleration on this car, you ready? It's also something special. Okay, so if you look at this corner up here, lot slower. I'm hitting this corner going 70 miles an hour, and it feels like it is absolutely nothing. It feels like I should be going 20 miles an hour more hitting these corners, and it is just insane to me. I don't understand it. Accelerating out of the corner just feels so good, and then when you're up here and you want to brake, I mean, you look, I'm 80 miles an hour. The braking just is so comfortable to come and hit into another corner, even though I didn't even need to brake. How's it feel to you, Caden?
I think it feels really nice. Like the Lamborghini, the suspension is a lot more rocky than this one, so it's smoother when we hit some of the crazy Idaho roads, and then the turning, you don't feel it. You don't hug the seat as much.
That is one thing that I was really surprised with this car, is at slower speeds, you still get jerked around a little bit with, you know, potholes and stuff that we run into in Idaho. But in comparison to the Lamborghini, you're right. It is so much more, I don't know, a much more enjoyable ride at slow speeds. When you start hitting high speeds, this car, if you've got a smooth corner, it was just made for it. It just feels like butter, and it's absolutely incredible. And this is after driving it for a month straight. I still am just floored by the experience. Alright guys, we have come to the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed the review. This car is absolutely incredible, and driving experience wise, I've never driven in anything else that's a better experience. So if you're thinking about getting one, I would say full send, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks, have a good day.